How are we feeling as Cubs fans? We check in on the Cubs fan temperature with a little bit of hot stove chatter and updates. We follow up on the Bellinger and Tyone signings and some Rule 5 draft and more. Let's go.
Are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Oh, sorry.
Welcome back to Locked On Cubs alongside Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. Pleased to be with you for a Thursday episode as I lose track of the days of the week. It's been an action-packed week here with the winter meetings and otherwise. Thank you whenever and wherever you may be listening. It's been a big engagement week, and we hope to continue that today. Well, when it was all said and done on Wednesday in San Diego, it turned out to be a fairly quiet day, Sam, and we're going to get into kind of our emotions and levels here as fans. How's everything over there? And let's get into it.
Yeah, so my emotions are, it's tricky. Last night I went to sleep very excited, and I still am. I'm still very positive where things are at. I am happy with the Cody Bellinger signing. I'm fine with the Jameson Tyone signing. But for me, I'm at the let me use a Bears analogy. When we speak about the Bears off the air, I always say, nothing mattered this year except the quarterback. That's how I feel now about the shortstop. None of these signings, Bellinger does not matter if you don't get that shortstop. He's on a 1-year deal, right? Jameson Tyone will be a really good pitcher if you have a really good middle infield behind him. Right now, you have a half of that. If I had to rank the check marks in the offseason, the 3 check marks, center field, check. Starting pitcher, Tyone, I'll give him half a check. That could become a full check with another pitcher and or a third baseman or a catcher. And then the biggest check of them all, shortstop, and we don't have that done yet. And let me just say this. I still think it's going to get done. But it has to get done. And I don't want to hear this, they could try and they may pick somebody else and the money's this. There's 4 of them, Matt. And by the way, there was a great class last year as well. You have to get one. You have to say, come on. You have to get
one.
Yes, you have to. Everything revolves around that. When you get one of these guys, in terms of likeliness, it looks like Correa is still in play. My original prediction.
All of them are in play.
My pivot prediction, Swanson, and it looks like Bogaerts is probably the least likely. But if you just get one of them, this is a good, gosh darn baseball team. If you don't, it's not serious.
Absolutely. I think the Bellinger and Tyone signings improve your club, but
they do.
It's not dramatic. It's just simply not enough. And that's fair. That's objective. I've had a lot of thoughts on the shortstops today. One, because I refresh Twitter, every 5 minutes.
Too much.
2, because this is the time.
Yeah.
And for the Cubs to still be in on all 3 guys is great. I'm wondering where the market's going to head from here. Perhaps it's the quiet before the storm. I think I just botched that phrase. Is it the quiet before the storm?
It's going to be calm.
Calm before the storm. I'll take that 15 seconds back. And if there's not a storm coming, then what gives? I'm ready for the umbrellas. I'm ready to hunker down. I'm ready to get into the trenches with this ball club. But if they line up the same way in this bleeping infield this year, there's going to be hell to pay. And we'll leave no stone unturned.
All right, you've said that 3 straight shows.
We'll move mountains.
You've said that 3 times.
You have to get a shortstop for crying out loud.
Well, and on yesterday's show or this morning,
I'm going to get a noise complaint in my area.
I can't keep track. But you asked me, who benefits the most from the Bellinger signing.
Mm.
Ask me who benefits most from the Tyone signing, or vice versa. Ask me who Tyone benefits from the most on this team. It's the shortstop that they need to sign.
People that can field.
Yeah, the shortstop. That's why I'm almost like, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to whine if they get Bogaerts. It's not like he's a liability at the position, but that's why I want Correa or Swanson, because of the fielding. And I know they don't have enough bats in their team. I get that. But I'm telling you, if you just please, guys, hang with me. Nobody's listened to us when the Cubs actually are good yet, because we took over in mid-July. If you have a base of Swanson or Correa, Nico Horner, Ian Happ, Cody Bellinger, Seiya Suzuki, Marcus Stroman, Justin Steele, Jamison Tyone, and Kyle Hendricks. That's your base. Those are your main guys. And then hopefully Mervis plays well. Maybe you trade for a catcher. You build your bullpen, Wisniewski, etc. You are going to be good. The floor of that team is higher than high. I'm not sure about the ceiling on it. I'll admit that. I'm not sure about that. But the floor is super high, because most games you're not going to give up that many runs. And that really helps. And so it just has to happen. And then you could do so many flexible things with your system and all this stuff. And no, we're not going to talk about Contreras and the Cardinals on this show.
We don't do that here.
I'm done with that. Enough already. Okay, talk to me in 4 years. See how that deal looks.
So I do have
tired of it.
All right.
Go ahead.
So you don't have anything you need to work through like some of the other shows?
Nah, just
good.
Go. Just go.
Yeah. So would you like to hear some of the reports, or do you want to do that on the other side?
No. And can we just do one more thing? Yeah. Can we just not mention the phrase hot stove? I'm tired of it.
Sure.
Get it done. You know what I mean? Aren't you tired of, we're meeting with
the free agent market is what I call it.
No, I just
the offseason.
I will be the happiest guy in the world. Just get me one of these three guys, and then we could talk Sean Murphy. We could talk third base. Somebody, I think his name's Averill. Here, I don't want to botch his name.
Averill?
No, hang on. I don't want to botch his name. Avon, sorry. Aven. Proposed a really nice trade that made a lot of sense for Danny Jansen and Santiago Espinal to play third base. I'm all for discussing all that after we get one of these guys, because nothing that we say on this show matters until one of those guys is wearing Cubby blue. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm tracking with what you're saying. Absolutely. And
I don't want to talk about the Rule 5 draft. Doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is getting one of these shortstops so I could feel like we could be a 90-win, high 80s, if everything goes good, baseball team, and I could buy a new jersey for me and people that follow the team. Not that we lost some pitcher in the Rule 5 draft.
Well, there's a lot on the line with this. There is.
It's the biggest offseason since 2014.
Tickets, merch, television ratings, goodwill in the community, Rickettsville, the Winter Wonderland, Gallagher Way. I'm trailing off here. I'm getting loopy, but
if we don't get one of these shortstops, I'm going to go to that stupid Winter Wonderland at Wrigley Field and create havoc.
Oh, no, you don't want to do that on the air.
No, on air.
No, we take that back.
Yeah, sure.
All right. But we will leave no stone unturned.
No, enough of that.
Okay. All right. Well, on the other side, I'm going to get to some. We're going to inform the public here with all the reports on all three of these brothers, and some of the other chatter as well with the Northsiders, and we're going to do that coming up next. Today's episode is brought to you by our great partners at Bet Online. Sam, does Illinois play this weekend? What's any lines on them and hoops at all?
They play the Nittany Lions at home, and if they lose the game, everyone should have their scholarship revoked.
BetOnline.net is your number one source for sports betting info, stats, news, and analysis. Get the latest odds and trends for every pro and amateur league out there, from football to basketball to soccer and esports. We've got it all at betonline.net. We're always the fastest, easiest way to get your betting fix. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more. BetOnline, where the game starts. And we start this segment here on Locked On Cubs. Thanks for making us your first listen every day with some news. First, we're going to start, Sam, with the big fish of the three remaining, and that is Carlos Correa. So we know the Cubs are still in on all three of these guys. The Giants accelerating their offer to Correa in the absence of Judge does have some momentum to it, but nothing is close. It's the Giants, Twins, Cubs, and maybe the Padres for Correa. Ken Rosenthal on The Athletic reported tonight, quote, "The Cubs view Dansby Swanson as perhaps their most realistic target at shortstop, assuming they don't go big for Carlos Correa." Go ahead. Actually, let's stop there.
But Whitmire said that they're
Yeah.
far along with Correa. So which guy do we trust? And which stove are we going to keep the hotter? And blah, blah, blah. I don't know.
Well, Gordon Whitmire said the Cubs of NBC Sports Chicago said the Cubs are down the road on Correa. He reported that on Tuesday night.
Right.
He does acknowledge that the Giants have maybe some momentum, but that Correa is 1A for the Cubs.
I think it's fairly obvious that Carlos Correa is their first option and Dansby Swanson is their backup. The dangerous thing is what if tomorrow Dansby Swanson gets a deal from Atlanta? He's like, I don't want to wait anymore. This is good enough for me, and he goes there, and then the Cubs are in a massive bidding war with three teams for Correa. That's why that's why I'm not a general manager, because it's really hard. And that's why Jed Hoyer makes a lot of money per year. And if he doesn't get it done, he gets criticism, because this is a hard position to be in. Would the easier thing be just to say, hey, you know what? Let's just take the guy that's there, offer Swanson a few million extra and close that deal right now so we don't leave it up to anybody else? Because I bet you he'd take it. I think his wife lives here or fiance or something with soccer. I don't know. There's a connection. You know, But
Chicago Red Stars.
Do you feel the difference between Swanson and Correa is large enough where you're willing to wait for Correa and risk not getting anybody? I don't know the answers to these questions. I don't get
That's
paid.
That's a great scenario right there.
I don't get paid to be a general manager. I talk about the Cubs because I like to talk about them, but there's no front office levels for me. You guys know me well enough now. I don't have the emotional capacity for that.
Well, then let me ask you this then.
Ask me a scenario.
At this stage, then should the Cubs overpay for Correa? If they're one of only three teams.
Sure, it's not my money.
Yeah.
I mean, overpay for Correa. How?
I mean, they got the money, right? Well,
we don't know.
In terms of they would just floor him. It would be well ahead of the Giants and the Twins.
We're assuming they have the money because that's all we've been told for 6 straight months. So if they don't, we should sue them for lying.
Right.
So
you want to get litigious?
Overpay?
Great.
So let me ask you this. Let me rephrase your question so I can actually answer it. Should they overpay for Correa or just get Swanson at value?
I'll go first.
Sure.
I would say at this point, given the market, what I'm seeing with the Turner deal and otherwise, I would say Swanson at market value.
Yeah, I would say Swanson at market value, because then you could go out and get more pieces.
You could go out and get somebody.
And try and win.
Maybe 100 M's for Senga for 5 years.
And the question is what is overpaying Correa? Is it years or is it AAV? Because
I think it would be dollars.
AAV shouldn't be an issue.
Okay.
It shouldn't be. Yes. Welcome to the market. Have you ever heard of the word inflation? It's only going to go up. If you don't pay this year, then, and I get it. Everyone says, well, they'll just hold out for Ohtani. Never do that.
Stop it.
Do you understand how many things could change?
What does that even mean?
Do you understand how many things could change from now until next offseason? Ohtani could like the Angels. Another team could come up and get some sort of owner money and offer him $8 trillion. look, I'd love Ohtani to be on the team, but if that's the rationale, hey, we didn't overpay for Correa because next year we're going to be in the Ohtani sweepstakes. What if the Angels win 90 games this year? I don't know. There's so many ifs about that. Everything's got to go right. Get the guy now. We're not asking you to go out and get Aaron Judge. We're not asking you to go out there and get Mike Trout. We're just asking you to get one of the guys that you basically, in GM terms, have promised us you're going to do everything you can to get. So get it done. And who knows, Matt? Just because the winter meetings are now concluding does not mean that something has to happen tomorrow. There's still 75% of the guys are on the board. This could go a long time. Dexter Fowler didn't re-sign with the Cubs in 2016 until spring training, for God's sakes.
Well, this is the first offseason in 3 years where the people have signed this much activity this week. Bryce Harper didn't sign until spring training started in 2019.
Yes, so this could become a bidding war. I mean, Carlos Correa is in no rush. He holds all the cards. He knows he's about to get a boatload of money. He knows he's the best guy left, and he's got options. And, oh, by the way, his agent is Scott Boras.
Right.
And Scott Boras likes to wait and sink in every dollar that he possibly can. If he can get an extra $5.50 to go get a 6-inch from Subway and wait a week, he's going to do that. So,
that's one of your best lines of all time.
Don't insult me.
Come on. I enjoyed it.
That was a weak line.
Okay. Fine.
This could go a while. I hope it doesn't. And I hope we're on here tomorrow at noon during your lunch again with another beautiful quarter zip talking about our new number 6.
Yes, we did. We did go live in the midday, and I hope to do that again soon. If not on Thursday.
Andrelton Simmons had a nice run.
So, just real quick, John Heyman, another John Heyman run. So the Red Sox, Padres, and Cubs are remaining for Bogaerts, and then. Actually, you mentioned the Braves earlier, Sam. MLB.com, the Braves beat writer, Mark Bowman, says it's the Cubs, Cardinals, Twins, and Red Sox for Swanson. So interesting that the Braves have moved on from him.
I don't buy the Cardinals.
And, the Cardinals in there disgust me, flat out.
Can you imagine this team? Just for 1 second, just because I'm in a little bit of a bad mood because I really thought that this was going to happen today, and I'm trying to stay patient. Just can you just imagine this team?
Wilson, are you doing a third to first?
Wilson Contreras, Nolan Arenado, Dansby Swanson, Tommy Edman, and Paul Goldschmidt.
Yeah, I mean they're going to make some plays.
Make some plays. You wouldn't be able to hit a ball through the left side with a cannon.
Yeah, I know. It might be the best left side of the infield in the league.
Yeah.
By probably a margin.
It's a pretty big upgrade from Paul DeYoung.
Okay. And, the Twins and Red Sox are in there because there's some musical
chairs. Who wants to play for the Twins? As you would say, if we get beat by the Twins for any of these guys, it's shameful.
I know. How are they still in on Correa?
Because he was on the team last year and used him as a one-year rental to up his value.
I don't care if he was on the team last year.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Jeez. And finally,
why don't we just say screw it and just go get VR again, throw the ball in the dirt for an hour?
And finally, we have some Sean Murphy updates, Sam.
Oh, I didn't see this.
John Morosi thinks the Cubs have the package to get either Murphy or Danny Jansen from the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
And Keith Law suggests the Cubs package for Murphy could look similar to the Braves trade for A's first baseman Matt Olson last winter.
Yeah.
So perhaps a package of major leaguers and prospects.
So let me say this on the Murphy. Let me say this on the Murphy thing, Matt. Don't make that deal until you get the shortstop, because if you're going to give up prospect capital and you're going to give up young players, then you have to be pretty serious about winning this year. And if you get Murphy without Swanson or Correa, you're not serious about winning this year. So then what eventually are you giving it up for? Sure, he's controllable, and you could say
controllable for a while.
Yeah, I know, but you could say it's for 2024. I get that, but still. I really believe in some of these prospects. And I really believe in some of these
Maybe
prospects.
someone's calling you with news of Swanson signing.
Nah, I got Twitter right here.
Okay.
It's my dad. To
Okay.
basically have this exact conversation
The
right
same convo.
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think that deal needs to be made with a shortstop. And if it
Okay.
is, party at
So,
my place.
so more of the all-in mentality there.
I think all in's a stretch. I would say all in to compete. You can't say that they're all in. They're not even going to be favorites in the division. I mean,
All right. Well,
even if they get Swanson and Murphy, they're still not going to be the betting favorites in the division. They're not good enough yet. But they'd be all in to be serious about winning this year. And then you have that, you're going to have that same nucleus for a really long time. And then you continue to add to it. But more importantly, the young guys come in.
right. That's still a long way to go
Brennan
with
Davis, Alcantara, Canario, PCA, Horton. The list goes on and on. Sure, some of
that.
those guys.
DJ Hertz, Jordan Wicks, Luis Devers.
Some of these guys might be in the Murphy deal, but not all of them. We're not trading for Johnny Bench.
It's not a
Not trading for Yogi Berra or Pudge Rodriguez here.
right. Okay, good references.
You know what I mean? I had one more, but I won't do it.
All right. So on the other side, we're gonna get to we're not gonna get to the Rule 5 draft. We're gonna pivot.
Yeah, please.
I got a couple questions for you, some trivia related to Cubs center fielders, and we'll do that next.
All right. It's a weird question, weird thing, but okay.
We're back here on Locked On Cubs. Thanks for making us your first listen every day. I thought it would be a nice closer.
No, sure.
I'm not Hector Rondon, but geez.
Remember him?
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I'm just a little antsy about all this. I feel it's such a big moment for this organization. I'm sorry. I'm getting a little anxious, and I'm taking it out on you.
Okay, so the Mariners did take right-handed reliever Chris Clark in the Rule 5 draft. Remember, you must remain on a team's active 26-man roster and be active for a minimum of 3 months to be retained, or else the Mariners will have to offer him back directly to the Cubs before placing him on waivers. Clark will be a reliever. Mostly started at AA in 22, struck out a lot of guys, fastball upper 90s. We'll see. I don't. I know he wasn't on anybody's radar. All these Rule 5 draft previews I read, literally nobody mentioned him. But he got picked today by the Mariners, so good for them. And then when was the last time, Sam, a Cubs center fielder hit 20 home runs?
Ooh. Interesting. So we don't count Happ, like an everyday center fielder. Fowler never did.
No, he had 17 in 2015.
Did Corey Patterson hit 20?
That's correct. This guy, come on.
Hey, Cubs have had some great center fielders. It just was about 100 years ago. Didn't Hack Wilson and Andy Pafko play center field?
Oh, my gosh. He got the 2 of the 3 answers of the question I haven't even asked.
Hack Wilson, Andy Pafko. What's the third? Who's the third? Is it Rick Monday?
Oh!
That's great, isn't it? He walked off the show if you're listening on audio. Because let me tell you something. Rick Monday's famous
you
for
gotta
that.
Be kidding me.
For that flag bit in center field when that guy was trying to light the American flag. Remember that? And he came in and saved it.
That's incredible.
What was the question?
Oh, you gotta be. I had to walk off the set.
Man, I love this ball club, and I'll love it even more with a number 6.
I love how you called it number 6.
Yeah, well, it's the position. You know what I mean?
Hack Wilson, Andy Pafko, and Rick Monday are the only 3 Cubs center fielders to do this.
Okay, so now we're going to go Jeopardy. We're going to reverse it.
Yeah.
To do this.
I mean, you're close. It's close to the last question.
Yeah. What is it? Hit 30 homers?
25.
25, yeah.
All right. All right, well, we're pretty much going to wrap up there.
No, I hope everyone stuck around for that, folks.
Yeah, we might have to clip that.
No, you better clip that.
All right, if I don't faint first, I will.
Yeah, you look a little warm.
Okay, so oh boy, was I warm.
Yeah. No, but that needs to be clipped and put on everything so people know that I'm not full of it when I talk about this club.
The basketball bus was warm, very foggy on the way
Now,
back.
something's wrong with the heating in my place. I can't wait to move already.
Yeah.
It's so every time I put the earphones on, I feel like it goes up 16 degrees in here. I feel like it's late July. I'm in the bleachers and we trail that team up north 11-2.
Oh no, reverse that. Reverse that.
No, because it gets hot and stressful.
Right. All right. Thanks everybody for joining us.
What a program.
Please be sure to subscribe to Locked On Cubs on YouTube. Smash the like button, leave a comment. Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your pods on the audio side. Drop us a text. We possibly can get to fan feedback Friday, but probably more likely Monday, 312-834-4634. Thanks for making us your first listen every day. Now make your second listen, the Locked On Sports Today podcast. Locked On Sports Today is our 22-minute recap of the previous night in sports. It features local experts on each of the big stories, as well as the take of the day from one of the Locked On hosts. Very fun show. He's Sam Olber. I'm Matt
Andy
Cozy.
Papko.
Yeah, this has been a presentation of Locked On Cubs.